Hey, how's it going, YouTube? It's your homeboy Lil kicking in the place to be. Appreciate you checking in. We're about to check out what was dubbed the TikTok cruise line. Basically, people got stranded on this cruise, started posting to TikTok, and the homie that I always react to just happened to have some, like, compiled some videos on it. I think he got two. We're about to go in without further ado and check it out. See what the homie's on.
Only imagine how old this is going to get. But let's meet some of the guests here. So the first person I found was this lady named Tyler.
Day in the life of the Royal Caribbean Ultimate World Cruise. We started the day out with
9 months,
breakfast
though.
and
That's
my
crazy.
prescription medication and mimosas. He was being
Hold on. First of all, I just want to say this right now. 9 months? Like 9 months. A whole person, like, you could get on the ship and somebody was like telling you, "Oh, I'm pregnant." And you get back and the baby's born. Like, that is wild. That's a long time. Like, that's crazy, man. And then you got this sugar daddy with you. He has the filter on, but like, you know, I don't know. I think
really
it's in the
stingy
ears.
and didn't get me
That's an
anything when
old
we went
dude.
shopping, but I know the best is yet to come. He's pushing 80 and this cruise is kind of his last hurrah. Then we got in a fight, so I went to the bar and I got some drinks and then it was
Oh,
the end
hell
of the
nah.
day. Come back for my next day on the 9 months of Royal Caribbean.
So the age filter she put on her man here made it seem like it was all a bit, but there's definitely some very
Bro, yeah,
interesting
bro's
characters on
old.
board here. Next up, we have
It's in the
Elizabeth,
ears. I'm
who's
for
apparently a
real.
florist.
I would be more than happy to show you a little bit aboard the 9-month World Cruise as a Pinnacle status member. If you didn't know this, I inherited my Pinnacle status from my papa. He's been cruising with Royal Caribbean for over 60 years, and I was grandfathered into his elite status. As a Pinnacle member, we have access to different floors than the normal status people. This is our special deck where we have...
I didn't even know that was something that you could get grandfathered into. What?
Also a really good buffet that only we have access to. These are the fish and chips that only we have access to, and some chicken nuggets that only we have access to. This is a dessert bar and some made-to-order Caesar salad, which only we have access to. I do believe the food as a Pinnacle member is elite. It's just way better. I can just tell. I went down to the other floor for like
That
10
was a
minutes the other
regular
day, and I could
parfait.
just
I was
tell.
about to pause
This
it,
is
but
our
that was,
special
y'all
food
know
that
that was
only
a
we have
regular
access to.
parfait.
Then we have Lauren, who is a mom who gives us a look into what I guess would be the most expensive room on the cruise.
I was getting bullied on the internet for sharing that I'm a squatter, so I decided to take my kids on a 9-month cruise through the North Sea.
Why?
I
Why
didn't
was
bring their nanny
she
because the boat has
bragging about
babysitters,
that?
and now instead of dropping my kids off at school in the morning, I will be dropping them off at the kids club. I packed ample scopolamine, but forgot to bring those hanging door organizers that maximize the space in a tiny cruise ship room. The room came with a cute
Wait, so instead of dropping the kids off at school in the mornings, now wait, she was bragging first that she was a squatter and the internet got mad at her. Now she's bragging that her kids are going to be at the kid club as opposed to school. That's why we 2025, 2024, like, I think was the beginning of it, but we're going into at a crazy pace towards craziness. You feel me?
little fridge, but we
What?
need to switch up what's inside of it because I don't let my kids drink soda. I think the North Sea needs a new soundtrack. That yo-ho sound just reminds me of 3 a.m. I would like to nominate Philippe Choi's classical music because I think the vibe is more calming and we need something that releases dopamine.
That sounds like a good way to lose your kids in international waters. I hope that was satire, but either way, it's safe to say
I
this
don't
cruise
even
is
think
loaded
so,
with
though.
characters. Then next up, we have Amika from South Africa, who also started a game show with a bunch of other cruisers.
Hey guys, I'm Ami and I'm here with the Ultimate Real World Cruise. And this is your hosts for our game show. Dr. Jenny Travels.
They got
Angela
the
Griffin.
game shows on the cruise?
All right. Who packed most clothes?
Little rap brain.
So they introduce themselves there, and then you have a couple more behind them, which is Brooklyn, Madison, Shannon,
Okay, why is homegirl?
Andrew and Allie, Little Rat Brain.
Why is homegirl good? Hold on. Here's the usual suspects: Brooklyn, Sweatshy, Swink a la mode. Okay. Madison, Sweatshy, AA, Kenny's, and Little Rat Brain. I
Yes,
love
that's
it.
actually
I
her
love
TikTok
everything
name.
about
Then
it.
you have this woman who's apparently hiding ducks around the cruise ship with her husband.
So Steve and I went looking for
That's just
Minnie,
cute.
and since I didn't see it until 7:30 this
Real
morning,
talk,
I'm
that's
pretty
just
sure
cute.
somebody else found it already. But I'm gonna pick a duck and I'm gonna hide it for you.
A dude named Mark, who I
Hey, say what y'all want. 90% of y'all are out there wishing you had somebody that you could go on a 9-month cruise with and hide rubber ducks just for funsies. Like, for real. Straight up. Oh, damn.
I think actually just left the cruise, and many more. Because as this cruise continues and boredom ensues, more of the cruisers join TikTok and enter this weird TikTok reality TV show. But let's talk about the room situations, because as we previously saw, they cost as much as a brand new F-150 with options. But here, Amika shows us her room.
And here is our room reveal.
Real
So we're cruising
regular.
with Royal Caribbean, and we're on their ship called Serenade of the Seas.
Real
And it was built in
regular.
2003, so it's one of their older ships. It's pretty cool to travel and have your
And
own
they
space.
said
I think this
base
room
was
is amazing.
60,000.
What's nice is most of these berths you see has hidden compartments where you can store things, and we stored a lot of our luggage under the beds. But it was an absolute disaster unpacking. I mean, look at this.
I'm 6'2", and you know, bro was already looking like a pretty decent height. That was a little ass room. Like the hobbits. And like that's
And here is the
crazy.
after. I
Oh
mean,
hell
I
no.
think we did a pretty good job. And
I'd
this
be
is our
suing for
cupboard. I
neck
had to
pain. Straight up
squeeze in
9
all my dresses
months.
and coats. And this is my husband's part. He is very neat. And this is the bathroom. Everything looks perfect. So yes, this is our room for the next 9 months, and I can't wait to see the
Just to
world.
reiterate.
I think I would go insane if I had to live in that room for 9 months. Paying north of $60,000 for a Super 8/Motel 6 room that's connected to an outdated mall with a view of the world, I guess, but you're also pretty much trapped and can't leave when you want. This is no. No,
Dang,
absolutely not. Definitely a wild
$60,000.
concept though. But Amika gives us a price breakdown here.
So we booked a balcony room around $70,000, and then you asked what is included in the price. So business class flights are included in the price. All your food and drinks, literally alcohol, coffee, Starbucks coffee, protein shakes, smoothies, everything you can think of is included. All the food is included. Times where you can eat at, and then there is like a buffet area you can eat at, and there's like 24/7 food. So all your food and drink is included. Also included is Wi-Fi and laundry services, and they also gave us a laundry and room we can use as World Cruise.
That sounds dope. You know what I mean? For like a week. But have you ever gotten a job at a restaurant or even just a fast food place or anything that you really liked? And after like a week of eating free that, you're sick of that? I swear, I worked at a place called Garlo's Australian Pies. Really good place. But I promise you, after I left there, I could smell it on me for like 2 months. I promise you, just sick. And that's what this cruise is about to be. Because what are they having different chefs, different restaurants coming on? They're not. Hell no.
So included
9
is
months.
the excursions to the 7 world wonders on this cruise. So that is pretty cool. And all your gratuities, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it correctly, and your room service and everything is also included.
Okay, that gives us a better understanding of the total costs. So $75,000 for 9 months, pretty much all expenses included, to live in a Motel 6 room with a balcony with a view of the world. But you're stuck on a boat that's interior looks like an oversized Olive Garden. You definitely need to be a special kind of person to want to do this. But if you remember Elizabeth, the elite pinnacle status member, well, she seems to be very upset
What's going on
her
with her?
pinnacle status room because it isn't really different from the normal rooms, apparently.
So I'm on the 9-month cruise, and I am a Pinnacle status member. I know that there's been a lot of discussion about how the Pinnacle status people are being treated differently. So I just wanted to show you my room, my stateroom, so you can see that it's really not that different from what the other people are showing. Okay, so here is you know, the room. You can see.
I don't know. Like, first of all, if somebody was mad at me that I was in this pinnacle status, pinnacle suite or whatever, first off, yeah, I paid the extra money. That's everywhere. You go to any hotel, you pay the extra money. Yeah, I'm in the suite. You're in the regular room. Second, why is she now going on showing what her room looks like so that she could potentially, like, the people who are like, oh, it's not fair, will be like, oh, okay, that's cool. Because at that point, what the hell are you spending the extra 30,000 for?
See the whole
I don't
thing.
know,
I
man.
have this little like balcony, and this goes up and down, so like I can, you know,
That would be
sit
tight
out
though.
here and
I've
it can
never
be a
been on a
balcony, or I can
cruise.
close it and it can be like a little Florida room. Here's my little couch area.
Traveled a
This is
lot,
where
just
I like
never
do my makeup
never on
and
a cruise
stuff.
though.
Here's the bed. The bed is super comfy. We have this TV, and then finally here's the bathroom. It's really spacious. We have this stand-up shower.
Oh,
Yeah, so you see, it's not that different
that's the
from the normal
pinnacle.
status people. Let me know if you want to see any other part of the ship.
Oh my
I'm happy to show
god.
you the other pinnacle parts of the ship.
I guess the main difference here is her room looks renovated. So I guess she's been updated from a Motel 6 / Super 8 to a standard Marriott. What is she paying though? I don't know. But it seems like both of these people booked their rooms before
It
the
has to be
segmentation
90.
started. And that
If
caused a
base
faction
is
divide in
60.
the cruisers. So now you have the world cruisers on one side, and then you have the segmenters. Sounds like something straight out of the Hunger Games, but I guess that's what we get with a TikTok social experiment like this. But here, the segmenter Nadine goes into detail on how she feels wronged with buying her tickets.
So I booked this probably almost 2 years ago, and
3 years. I
signed
didn't
up
even
for
know
the
you could.
Americas. But
you have to-
ideally, I would have wanted
Do you have to reserve cruises that far in advance?
to have got off the boat
3. I
partway
didn't
through
know
the
that you
Asian
could do
leg.
that.
And I did actually ask about this, and I was told on no uncertain terms that they would be selling anything less than the Americas segment. They told me it's world cruise. The only options are the full world, all the segments,
I ain't know where my water.
and
Oh,
they're selling it so everyone has the same package. You get the drinks, the laundry, the internet, everything like that. There was no way to downside. It is what it is. So I signed up, and I was
disappointed.
as happy as you can be when you spend this much money, but excited about all the places we were going to see. And then a few months ago, when they started to
Like, what were you
talk about getting ready for the excursion,
What were you basing this off? Like, I mean, I get that a cruise sounds fun. 9 months is nuts. But you can't really be too upset that the people who, like, you know, at the beginning, they just weren't selling tickets like that, like segmented tickets. Now they are at a price difference because they still have to fill up the rooms if they don't, you know. I don't know. That's wild.
excursions,
hot take.
etc., my booking changed from having one master booking number to suddenly having 3 sub booking numbers. And I didn't really understand what this meant until I got on the ship.
Yeah, if I bought tickets early, I would have a sour taste in my mouth, because now it seems like you can just kind of hop on and off the ship for a fraction of the cost. And what makes this buy even more sour is it's not like you're buying a plane ticket, getting onto the plane, finding out from the person you're sitting beside, oh, they bought their ticket last minute super cheap, because the day after you're gonna completely forget about it and you're gonna move on with your day. But here, you're gonna be on that boat for 9 months.
I didn't
staring
even
at
think
people
about
go
that.
on and off the boat for a fraction of the cost that you paid to get on this boat. That's gonna
Oh
be
my
sour.
God, that's
Imagine spending
wild.
9 months of your life staring at people who got a better deal than you. But I mentioned earlier, because they added different tickets last minute,
be
this caused
hot.
a faction divide on this cruise, apparently. And it's gone from people just being bitter at other cruisers for getting a better deal than them to being straight up petty. Because it seems like a bunch of people who bought the original price rooms have now created a Facebook group, and they only accept other people who are part of the full cruise in this group.
love
Because
it.
Nadine apparently is a segmenter. It's such a funny thing to say, because she bought the American segment, which has since been broken up to 3 segments apparently. But she's a part of those 3 segments and apparently now feels excluded.
I'm here to see Wonders of the World. I missed out on a talk the other day about the Northern and Southern Lights because I'm not part of the Facebook group. And I'm not part of the Facebook group because I am not allowed to be part of the Facebook group. I've tried to join it, I'm left out because I am not a world cruiser. I don't know who made that decision, whether it's the staff or the group admin, but that feels like, because I haven't been able to join the book club and do the book swap, all these things that I would have been really passionate about and could have organised in advance, or
They didn't want you to
organising
organize it.
some solo ventures.
I hate whenever people throw themselves into like somebody else's something and they're mad when they don't want you to be part of it, and you're already talking about, I could have stepped in, I could have organized it, I'm very passionate. It's like, I don't care that you're passionate. We're mainly drinking anyways. So you wouldn't have fit in anyways. Like, that's why that's so funny to me. This is so crazy.
Saying, hey, does anyone want to catch a taxi here to do this in this port, etc., etc.
No, they didn't want to.
And that feels like, and I know a lot of other people feel a little bit the same.
I don't think this is the case, but if this is organized by Royal,
Start your own book club. With only, I don't know which part she was in with like the original buyers or the segmenters, but like literally get them and start your own book club. Y'all could get together and open up Google and have them talk to you and tell you a story about the Aurora Borealis. You could do that. Like we live in the future. You feel me? So
Caribbean. That
weird,
is an
so
insanely
strange,
odd
yo.
move. But if it's
I love
organized
it.
by some petty person on the ship, that's just a new level of petty. It's like high school groups all over again, but since they're all trapped in the same area for a long time, it might be more like prison gangs if they're all sentenced to 9 months in a floating retirement home. But apparently they even have their own turf based on their membership status, which is where I want to introduce the character Mark, who was originally covering the cruise from home.
I'm
but
already
ended up going
smiling. I
onto
could
the
feel it.
cruise, and
Like
he was
I could
hosting
see
a
it
book club
on
on
the
a live
screen.
stream, which I think was sponsored. And apparently he was doing this in the Elite Lounge, and I guess someone paid $8 from his live stream to call the boat.
That's trespassing, bro. You can't be over here going in the Elite and you ain't with the Elite.
If you were in my book club, you may have seen me get kicked out of the Pinnacle Lounge. Upper bed. Hi.
Oh my god, I'm sorry.
No, what are you doing? Don't worry.
I'm sorry to disturb you guys. I'm sorry, but unfortunately...
You've got to kick us out.
Oh, really?
They know they can't be
Or you
there.
just don't look. You know what I mean? You're just like, you're just sort of like, oh my god.
I'm sorry. I know you're very nice and Sabrina, amazing, but unfortunately, I cannot do this. I do apologize.
Okay. Not us getting kicked out of the concierge lounge. Okay, we'll do it. We're
Homegirl in the back smiling, cheesing. I'm like, y'all know y'all couldn't be there. I hate when people get kicked out of places and they're mad.
Everywhere.
Next, to whoever keeps leaving me ducks in secret, reveal yourself or I will be
Wait,
pressing
is this
charges.
about to
Remember
be
earlier I mentioned there was a TikTok couple on the ship filming themselves hiding ducks?
Hey folks, it's January 21st, day number 43 of the cruise. And
once again, I know 90% of y'all are out there wishing that y'all had somebody that y'all could be ruining people's days, hiding ducks with on a 9-month cruise. That sounds wonderful. Like, what?
And we are about to hide some ducks.
This is such an interesting thing to watch unfold on the internet. I think I've probably spent 20 hours going through TikToks on this cruise ship, and I still feel like I'm only scraping the surface of all this. But Mark also had a moment where it seems like the cruise wants to drive you insane by design.
Wearing a shirt with two ladies making it.
Who is this about to be? Like, for what?
Hello? Yes? Yes, I'm coming. I'm on my way. Okay, thank you.
Who is it? I need to know.
Anyway, I'm late for a reservation. What do you guys call after you're late for a reservation for 5 minutes?
The top comment of that video is to tell them you were stuck in traffic. But if those small things wouldn't drive you insane, maybe the flooding would. So let's check back with the mom of the luxury suite.
Ready with me for a night out on the 9-month world cruise. Just kidding. I'm not going anywhere because we got hit by a storm and the whole boat was flooded. Can't use the elevators. The 12th floor is completely filled with water. And some people even have water in their rooms. So now
I didn't
have to
see any
sleep in other
videos
people's
of this,
rooms. For the swingers on the ship,
of
that
like
doesn't matter
the
very
flooding
much.
of it.
As I have previously vlogged,
How much
there
was
are
it
quite a few
flooding?
of those. They don't identify as swingers. They just do it. As one couple told me, they're not part of the lifestyle. They just like to have fun. Because of the flooding, Nancy told me that we are now being switched to another boat to go through the Drake Passage because they anticipate that this boat will not be able to handle the choppy waters there.
Oh,
They're
hell
also giving us the option to opt out of going to Antarctica and Antarctica to go see the penguins, which is understandable since they were never actually letting us get off the boat. They were just driving by the glaciers. Seemed like too many days of doing absolutely nothing except staying in other people's rooms.
And at first,
What do you think sailing the world
I was
was?
like,
So
there's
it's
no
mostly
way it's
ocean.
already flooding. But no, the ship was actually flooded.
If you didn't know, the more you know.
It looks really bad.
Damn, I'd be so pissed.
Oh my god, apparently this is deck 12.
Base $60,000, y'all. $60,000
from the flooding.
Things got a little tense.
Oh my god.
I love how there's one woman who's just completely unbothered on the.
I'm like, actually, okay, yeah, I checked it out, the timeline. This is the end of this first video, but wouldn't that be so crazy? What have we got so far? We got people being excluded from groups, which, I mean, seems like you're right to do, but also seems a little like you're just doing that to be an asshole. Like, at what point are you an asshole? 2, I feel like now the ship's flooded and you're on the ocean. What? Like, what do you do at that point? 3, you're getting kicked out of places you know you're not supposed to be. People are calling your room telling you you're 5 minutes late for reservations, which, come on, you knew what time you were supposed to be there. And hiding ducks around you. Like, I love the whole thing. I love to see people being their true toxic self. You feel me? But anyways, so I thought I was gonna do this in a one part. Apparently, it's gonna be a 2-part video because we got to see that whole next video and see what happens. But once again, and as always, I know y'all could have been anywhere in the world, anywhere on the internet, but instead y'all came to kick it with me for a little bit, and I really do appreciate that. It's your homeboy Lil signing out. Holla at me, preach.